Shalom and welcome back to the Grim Truth. I'm going to be speaking rather softly in this video because it's pretty early in the morning and I'm trying not to wake up the entire house. So, that being said, this is going to be a prepping video and I haven't done one of these in a while, so bear with me. This might be a little awkward, but we'll try. I'm going to try to do this in one take without editing the video half a dozen times, and I'm going to try to do it without waking up the entire house. Well, not the entire house, but close enough. Alright, behind me, my wound care bucket from Refuge Medical. This needs no preps. That is already prepped. It comes in a bucket. It's awesome, and I will pop it open and show you a few things in it. Here we have two 25-pound bags of all-purpose flour. And I got these bags at Costco, cheaper than what you can find them at Amazon. Local Costco's prices are going to vary and be a little different. I think I paid like $26 a bag, which is kind of expensive compared to what I used to pay for them. I found them on Amazon before I started the video for about $40 a bag, or $35, somewhere in that range on Amazon, for 25 pounds of flour. Two of them. I got 50 pounds. If I remember correctly, 50 pounds doesn't all fit into one 5-gallon bucket. Here I have cat hair. I have cat hair. Oh, and a cat. Yeah. This is my dining room table, and it is huge. I built it myself with the help of family members. So yeah, it's very sturdy. It's old at this point. I think it's like 12 years old. It's made out of yellow pine, 2x6s on the top. The bench, same thing. There's two benches. It's shoved up against this wall and that window back there because it was built for a house that was bigger than the one I'm currently in. So it doesn't exactly fit, but good enough. Coffee. We get these to-go cups from Costco. So this is homemade coffee. Even though it looks like a to-go cup, I'm using earbuds for the microphone. Here I have a food grade bucket. This is food grade. It says it on here somewhere. Gamma seal lid. Gamma seal lid. And if you don't know what a gamma seal lid is, just look that up. I've showed them before on this channel a long time ago. Essentially, this outer ring has a rubber seal in here. It snaps onto the lip of the bucket, and then it has a screw top. That is good for things like the flour, salt, anything that you will use sparingly, like flour and salt. For example, we have a few of these buckets. One of them, it was late last year. We opened it up to use it for something or another, and then we used it to get some more this year during Passover, because a Feast of Unleavened Bread and Week of Unleavened Bread, and we were making quite a bit of unleavened bread using all-purpose flour, among other flours. Dude, don't photobomb. Quit licking yourself. You're on camera. Cats. So anyway, without further ado, I'm going to drink this coffee and get started. Coffee. So in case you're wondering, this is my biblical manhood shirt. I got it from him. Yeah. Yep, it's that kind of day. So, try to see if I can get this camera positioned a little bit better to see a little bit better what's going on here. Try. 25-pound bag of flour. This is one of the most basic things you can do. This will last at least 5 years. I know that because I've used it about that length of time. And I do have bay leaves around here I forgot to grab before starting the video. And I'll throw a couple bay leaves on top. You want to make sure your bucket's clean. No dust from your hat got into it beforehand. It's 99.9% clean. Good enough. So then we take our trusty blade. We open flour and we dump it in. That's pretty much it, because there are other ways to do this. You can do this with Mylar bags. That's just a pain in my butt personally, because then you got to heat seal the bag with some kind of an iron or whatever you're using. Gamma seal lid makes this so much easier. Oxygen absorbers are not recommended for flour, sugar, salt. It's not needed for salt, but for flour as well, you don't need oxygen absorbers. It can have some bad effects to your flour. Bay leaves. Bay leaves would be used for keeping the critters out, because it is a known fact that when you get products like flour from grocery stores or anywhere that come in bags, or if you're not getting it whole grain where you're grinding it yourself, there's a good chance there's eggs in there from bugs. Keep that in mind. So 25 pounds, in we go. I don't know if you can see that, but I might need to get another bucket. I have another bucket. They're looking like 25 pounds, so I'll shake it and see what else I can get in there. But it's been a while since I put flour in a bucket, and I didn't remember how much a single bucket held. But if I end up doing a second bucket for the other bag of flour, it'll be the exact same. I do have one more food grade bucket left over, and one more Gamma Seal lid left over from other things I was doing. Okay, now I got a mess to clean up. So yeah, if you can see, the flour is right here on top. That's almost 25 pounds. The bag is not quite empty. I'll try to get the last of it in there. Let's leave some room. I can still feel it in the corner. Come out of it. Yeah, I don't know if you can see that in there, but probably not. Where's my flashlight? There it is. Flashlight. That's too bright. Yeah, there it is. There's a little bit in the corner down there, and I'm having difficulty getting it out. It's probably just compacted. That worked. Flour compacts when it sits. I just dumped a little more on my floor, on the bench. Awesome. And I didn't open that side. That could be the problem. So yeah. Get out of there. Making a mess. That's good. Yeah, I did that. I really did. Okay. So, depending on your level of upper body strength, that could have been the hard part, and this next part will be the easy part, because that's how it is for me. But if you have trouble lifting 25-pound bags, that might have been the hard part. Now, like I said, Gamma Seal lid. See if I can show you down here. I just unscrewed the lid part. Set that on the table. This is the ring. That is the rubber washer, rubber grommet that goes around it. You clip it on like so, and then you hammer it down. Now, typically I would use a rubber mallet for this, but that's going to be probably louder than my hand. This is pretty loud as it is. Oh well, we can wake them up, right? Try to see if I can push it down. Because you gotta kind of go around it like so to get it to snap all the way around it. Place. There we go. I actually did it without using the rubber mallet. Oh yeah, it's on there. So next I will find bay leaves, but I'll do that after the video, just to show how this works. There you go. That is flour ready to go. Simple as that. Move this bucket out of the way. Watch the cat lick himself. Hey! Psst. Do you know you're being watched by the internet, right? Did you know? They're watching everything you're doing. Yeah? Oh, you don't care? Okay. Good enough. Next bucket is this. Now, just to show you, this is the Refuge Medical Wound Care bucket. This is the other thing we're prepping for the week. My prepping supplies was lacking. Well, my medical supplies was lacking in my preps. This fixed that. And you can read on that label, I'll show you again, get a little closer, everything that's in here. There's a lot of gauze and some other things, but if you can read that, I had an add-on when we got this. Now, this lid is my only complaint about this bucket, is you got to go around these tabs and pull them up. This is a standing kind of job. There we go. Almost got it. There's one. Ow. Stuck. Ow. Alright. This was a free gift sent to me by Refuge for spending as much money as I did on this bucket and the add-on. Summer burn kit. It comes with 2 cohesive bandages, burn dressings, burn shield dressing, zero form, a petroleum dressing. Really good. This is the add-on that we added to the kit at the time of purchase from Refuge Medical. Surgical instruments kit for minor surgeries. And I'll pop that open and just give you a quick look there. It's got all the things for performing minor surgeries. This bucket is awesome. Right here, zip bag. These are gloves. You know, if it's wet, not yours, don't touch it. Something Bear tells us a lot. I am not going to pull everything out of here. It's not that easy to put back in. Abdominal pads right here. Extra absorbent. Just a few of the things. You get down in here and you got the things most people recognize. Medical tape, that's a antibiotic, triple antibiotic cream, both tubes are. You got, let's just give you a look-see. You got some peroxide, alcohol wipes, you got everything you would need for basic wound care. And now this is wounds for torso areas or any place that's not an extremity. Your arms, your legs, and while it can be used for that as well, it's going to really depend on the level of blood coming out of you. And as we all know, I did that wrong. That goes on the bottom. See what I mean? This is why I want to take stuff out of here. I have enough trouble putting my tent back together, and now I'm pulling, and it's tightly packed in here, out of here, and trying to put them all back in here. That worked. This wasn't in the bucket originally, I just kind of shoved it in there. So, one of my plans for this bucket is, the lid is okay, it's a good lid, it's a lid, I mean it's a bucket lid. It snaps in place like any other bucket lid. I'm going to put a Gamma Seal lid on here. So that would be the only recommendation I would do with that lid. Only recommendation I would suggest if you are getting the wound care bucket. I got flour all over my jeans. If you're getting the wound care bucket, I would recommend getting an easier accessible lid. If you need wound care, you don't want to be fighting with the lid. That's just, yeah. I mean, if you had adrenaline pumping through, you're probably going to rip that thing off like you're the Hawk, but that's beside the point. I want it to where short people can easily access it if they needed to for whatever reason. Hopefully that never happens, but in the event that it does, Gamma seal lid screws off one hand. Look at that. Open. Now, to finish off the preps, something that's obvious that you should do, label your flour bucket. I will do that with a Sharpie, and I will write right on top of the Gamma seal lid. I can take alcohol wipes and wipe that off at some point. It comes off by itself eventually. You have to rewrite it. Trust me, I know I have a lot of these buckets. And if you don't know, why am I putting flour in a bucket? Because it lasts a lot longer that way. And biblically speaking, come here. Biblically speaking, prepping is found in this book. This is a Bible, in case you were wondering. It's a whole Bible. It starts at Genesis 1 and it ends at Revelation 22. It's a whole Bible. You'll find, biblical stuff in here. So I will refer you quickly and very quickly to the end of the book of Genesis, starting with the story of Joseph. Joseph, which was not his name, but we'll go with that Americanized name just for that simplicity purposes. Joseph was a prepper. Joseph was sold by his brothers, the other children of Israel, also known as Jacob. His name wasn't Jacob either, but that's beside the point. He was sold to Egypt as a slave. He became essentially the number 2 guy in the entire country, and he prepped. He had a vision. Well, the Pharaoh had the vision. The king of Egypt at the time had a vision or a dream, and Joseph interpreted his dream to let him know that God, Yahweh, Yahuwah, the Lord your God, Elohim, whichever you prefer, however you want to call him, he had given the Pharaoh a vision of what he was going to do. He being he, capital H, he. And Joseph was able to interpret that dream and inform the king of Egypt at the time what was about to happen to him. They were going to have 7 years of plenty, of abundance, 7 years of lots of food being grown and produced. And following that, they were going to have 7 years of none. Famine. Essentially nothing being produced, roughly speaking. So that being said, for 7 years, they stockpiled grain and food. And because they stockpiled grain and food, everyone who didn't stockpile grain and food ended up, by the end of that story, selling themselves into slavery to the Egyptian people, the leaders of Egypt. They sold themselves because that's the only way they could afford to buy food. They had spent all their money, their silver. They had traded all their livestock for bread, and then they traded themselves. So unless you want to trade yourself to your current government under Mr. Biden, if for some reason, whatever reason, we have famine, which is very likely if you follow any kind of anything, if you have more than 2 brain cells knocking around in your head, you can probably see the state of things. So, unless you want to be in the breadline selling yourself to Mr. Biden, I highly recommend you put some food in buckets. I have rice, I have beans, I have flour, I have salt, I have various other things. Noodles, lots of noodles. Noodles are good. They're basically made out of this stuff anyway. And I have another bag to put into a bucket. One last thing before I go. Somebody gave me a gift. A gift. Somebody I know gave me a gift. This is the scriptures. This is the Institute for Scripture Research. I've had this thing for years. I've wrote all in the margins. I got notes. There's a lot of stuff. I like this. This is nice. This is mine. But they gave me this one. This is the scriptures. This is made by the Institute for Scripture Research. This is the exact same book, but this one's prettier. It's got the multi-tone colors. These are just some, I'll have to get that off the floor, things I put in there because I'm going to use them. But it has the thumb tabs to help you get to the verses better, which is very convenient. It still has the 3 frilly thingies, bookmarks, just the same as this. These are just all one color instead of multiple colors. But it's the same book, and it's a softer cover because because this is not flexible at all. Hardcover right here. So yeah, that was an awesome gift. I like it. I will use it. It's slightly bigger, like taller, only very slightly. That's pretty much the only difference. Slightly taller, but I like it. It's nice. Not sure I want to carry it around like I do the other one because this thing's got some wear and tear on it. I mean, it's starting to come apart, but whatever. It's a book. It's meant to be read. Start at the beginning. And that's going to be enough of me for this one. This one's over 20 minutes long already. And I put flour in a bucket. I showed you my wound care bucket. I'm going to make a short video while I'm sitting here really quick. Tag Refuge Medical in it for this because they asked me to post a review and tag them in it in any of their social medias or any of my social medias. But I only have YouTube and now TikTok. So that being said, I'm going to do that. I will post that short video before this one goes online, I guarantee you, because YouTube is slow and so is my internet. Alright, now I gotta see if I can actually hear myself through this video because I just realized that the mic isn't recording where it's supposed to be.